Looked like it hurt.
You have the right to remain silent.
You miserable lying snake! Yeah! Blah!
Hold on, I'm coming.
Hey everyone. Yeah, I know. It's been a while since you've seen this face. What else can you do, right? Well, as you can tell, I'm back on YouTube. And today, I've got a really good video for you. Do you by any chance remember this game right here? And no, don't worry, you haven't missed out on anything. There's no version of this game for the PS5. This is just something I edited. This was the first Spider-Verse ever. And to think it came out like, what, 15 years ago? Now, I wanted to make this video because of how much I love this game. Back then, I played this on a Wii being like 7 years old, so you can imagine the graphics weren't the best. But today, though, I managed to get it on my PC, so all of the footage you'll see will come from there. Don't ask me how I did it. I want to talk about the creative process behind this masterpiece, break down some of the key aspects of how this game was made, and analyze the gameplay. Why? Well, it's because I want to convince you of playing it in 2025, duh. We have plenty of Spider-Man games by today's date, but does this 2010 game keep up with the others? I'll let you be the judge of that, but let me explain how this is gonna work. I'll break this video down in 4 parts, starting as follows. First, I'm gonna talk about the overall theme, so how did the idea come up? How did they make this work? Second, I'm gonna talk about the story. What did they craft to reel us in, to catch our attention, and to help us really care for these characters, you know? And I'm gonna talk about the gameplay, like how do they fight? Is there any different mechanics or, you know, the usual stuff when you talk about gameplay, I don't know. And lastly, I'll talk about the voice acting. Like what kind of people did Activision hire to just help us really bring this game to life? So without any further ado, let's get to our first topic. The overall theme. And honestly, I don't even know where to begin. This game is just such a masterpiece. I could play this all day long. But yeah, anyway, so how did the idea come up? I kid you not, it was literally because somebody jokingly said something about wanting to play different Spider-Man. Back in the day, Activision had the license to develop and publish Spider-Man video games. Beanox, being an Activision subsidiary, was tasked to create a new game. And they wanted something fresh. Something that wasn't just, oh yeah, this is another open world New York sandbox thing. We gotta keep in mind that up until then, the biggest Spider-Man game was Spider-Man 2, which was a tie-in from the 2004 movie. By the way, I just love this trilogy so much. Toby, thank you so much.
Hi, Peter.
Hi. But anyway, I'm sidetracking. The team at Beanox got together, started discussing some ideas, and they stumbled upon an image from Spider-Man 2099. Though they thought it was a bad guy at first, they then realized it was a futuristic incarnation of our beloved hero. This led them to search for other existing versions of the web crawler, and that's when the guy I mentioned threw his game-changing line,
They're all so great, I'd like to play them all.
said and done. Back then, there were no Spider-Verse comics or anything, so this was totally an original idea. There were multiverse comics, yeah, but nothing depicting crossovers from other spider people. Now, I don't know for sure how many different versions of Spider-Man they went through, but one thing is clear. They chose the best for the sake of the gameplay. More on that later. The team now had the concept, but they needed a story. They needed some way to explain how or why the different Spider-Man would be working together. They needed to give us, the players, a reason to care about them all, especially since most of us weren't really comic connoisseurs. I mean, I know I wasn't at least. What was the answer? Well, creating an original artifact that allows the interaction between different dimensions and still captures the nature of some mystical objects in the Marvel universe. I present to you the Tablet of Order and Chaos. Now, how did he achieve this? This story was written by Dan Slott and Daniel Strange, and if one of those names sound familiar to you, and not so strange, well, it's because Dan Slott has written a large number of comics over the years, especially having to do with Spider-Man. He also wrote my favorite Spider-Man comic series, by the way. It's Superior Spider-Man. You should check it out. But yeah, anyway, let's go back. So, the Tablet of Order and Chaos. The story from here is pretty straightforward, and I'm gonna be a little nitpicky here while I tell it, because I got some things to say. We open up with a main villain, Mysterio, breaking into the Empire State University, aiming to steal said tablet. His objective is fairly simple. He just wants to sell it on the black market, make himself some money, and that's it. Spider-Man, on the other hand, shows up and he tries to stop him. He lands a big ol' punch on the tablet, shattering it, and spreading its pieces across different dimensions.
Say that again?
What? That this Spider-Man shattered dimensions?
Guys, I got it. Ready?
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, this is a pretty creative way to explain the name of the game, and I wonder if the devs thought of it since day one, or if it was like a last minute thing. Anyway, Madame Web appears after the fact and tells Peter,
The tablet of order and chaos is the most powerful of all the mystic artifacts in the world, and you shattered it.
Now here's the thing. If it was the most powerful mystical artifact in the world, like she says, then why the heck was it in a university's museum? Couldn't it have been, I don't know, with Doctor Strange in the Sanctum Sanctorum at least? Oh, and by the way, if Madame Web that sees the future and she knew this would happen, then why didn't she warn Peter beforehand? Are her powers in this game worse than in the movie where she could only see the future right before people would die? Or does she only see the future after something bad happens? Is she an Nexus being? Wasn't she just a telepath? I'm ranting just to rant, don't worry about it. Anyway, Madame Web tells Peter and us that these fragments are about to be found by different villains, and it is our job to stop them before they grow powerful and destroy the universe. And to be honest, I'm not sure what the actual implications are, but from what we see in the game, their abilities are greatly enhanced when they hold or fuse with these fragments.
Should've used this rock sooner.
But hey, it's good to know that we're not alone in this. During the tutorial, Madame Web explains how she enhances the versions of the heroes we play so we're able to go with our tasks more easily. To the amazing Spider-Man, she says,
I am augmenting your spider sense. Now, instead of just detecting danger, you have the added abilities of seeing through objects, locating enemies, and discerning structural weaknesses in your environment.
Cool.
I will bestow it upon the other Spider-Men as well.
To the Ultimate Spider-Man, she apparently gives him the symbiote suit because
This suit has extra abilities you will need in your quest.
Like what, trying to take over my body?
he's not very happy about that, but she also explains,
My psychic powers will keep it from overwhelming you.
Yeah, well, I hope you get the result.
with Spider-Man 2099, she teaches us how to fight, and also helps us know we won't kill anyone.
Oh no, I didn't mean to make him disappear.
You didn't. I have saved him from peril and transported him to safety, thanks to a dimensional rift caused by the tablet. But please, try not to be so cavalier next time.
It's also a good explanation why enemies disappear after we beat them. And I think this is a fun way that the game tells us, hey, everything's okay. And lastly, a very interesting enhancement to Spider-Man Noir. Madame Web says this,
If an enemy spots you, it is imperative to defeat him quickly or retreat, either into the shadows or high above. I have gifted you with new web-swinging powers. They will be useful in this respect.
This is a reference to the comics, where we don't really see him web-swinging like other Spider-Man, but he moves more like Daredevil, like parkour, detective kind of style. And in my opinion, I think the developers got it wrong. It's not like he can't web-swing, but he just prefers not to avoid unwanted attention. I mean, you can take a look at this comic panel right here. You can clearly see he web-swings through the window, breaking it and everything, so he just prefers to stay in the shadows when web-swinging is not that effective for that. That's the story. 4 Spider-Man, lots of iconic enemies, but let's go to the gameplay, shall we? As it is usual in most video games, Shattered Dimensions has its own upgrade system, which is based on points called Spider Essence. The Spider Essence lets you buy 2 different kinds of upgrades, combat and character. Some of them are general, others specific to each Spidey, but collecting Spider Essence is honestly really simple. You can defeat enemies, grab spider emblems, collect hidden spiders, which give you a ton of essence, and you can also break things around you. Hulk smash! At the end of each chapter, you can also get a spider essence bonus, depending on your performance. And I think this is a way that the devs judge you for how bad you play their game, but it might just be me. And there are also challenges condensed in the Web of Life and Destiny. This was also, by the way, a concept created for this game by Dan Slott alongside the Tower of Order and Chaos that we already discussed, and I don't know if you're seeing it right now, but this game literally sets the basis of what the Spider-Verse is today. Anyways, each level has its own challenges, some are time-based, some others combat-focused, and so on. And while completing challenges also grants you Spider Essence to further upgrade your heroes. In regards of combat, Shattered Dimensions is pretty dynamic and the mechanics are fairly straightforward.
Who's having a good time? Raise your hand.
You punch even harder. Dodge. Dodge with style. Grab. Toss. And more.
Back to the freak show. Oh, boo-hoo.
One thing that I love about this game is how every Spider-Man has their own unique fighting style, and on top of that, enemies behave differently too. The game makes sure you never get bored out, and I love it. Amazing Spider-Man fights using his webs to reinforce his every move. Not only he can wrap his fists with them, but he also mixes them with debris and can even create different shapes. Isn't that so cool? Isn't that so amazing?
Say that again?
Spider-Man Noir's strength is in the shadows. The game lets you know this by going entirely black and white if you aren't around light, but if you step into it,
I knew you were around here.
you gotta hide fast, otherwise they just gun you down. Noir's takedowns are swift and straight up. You definitely don't mess around, bruh. You make sure you're knocked out and KO'd for good. And when he fights, he does so like a brawler.
Right in the kisses.
His hits are heavy, rough, and not elegant at all. Ultimate Spider-Man is just full of symbiotic action. He's the kind of guy that you expect to just break into a party and just be whipping everyone around. He uses his tendrils to hit multiple enemies at once. By the way, they tend to always swarm you. Like, these enemies are pretty intelligent. And Madame Web helps him bond with his suit really well, but don't let him get too pissed, or he might just...
Hey, get off me! Get off! I said get off me, you little freaks! Oh man, I knew this would happen. This suit! I gotta get it off me before I...
Yeah, anyway, Spider-Man 2099 is fast and loves slashing his enemies.
Security breach. Security breach.
See ya! Are we done yet?
He's very acrobatic and precise, and due to his enhanced speed, he can leave an after image for his enemies to attack, and for the sake of gameplay, his accelerated vision is something you can turn on and off like a switch to dodge incoming projectiles and things. Pretty cool, if you ask me. He also loves free falling and beating the shock out of his enemies. Now, those of you who played the game probably noticed this already, but 2099's and Noir's villains have an ongoing story or some kind of relationship or connection between them throughout the game. Whereas Amazing's and Ultimate's villains they're just kind of there for you. For example, Hammerhead and Vulture are working for the Goblet and they're tasked to get those fragments for him. But once they discover the power within them, they want to keep them.
I'm not scared of you anymore. I'm not scared of Osborn. I'm not scared of anyone.
Oh my goodness. Shut up. Or in 2099's universe, we discovered that the Hobgoblin's tech has been upgraded and Scorpion's gone insane all because of Doc Ock. Just a little side note here, I feel bad for Scorpion. He just wanted to stop being a monster. Now, I think this was a clever play by the devs, since these were the Spider-Man the general audience wasn't that familiar with at the time. But can we just please talk about how creative this game is? A game with this premise could get really boring pretty quickly, especially since you got like 12 villains plus the main one, Mysterio. Like, this is crazy. Just imagine going through a level, beating up goons, fighting the secondary villain a couple times, and then getting the fragment, only to do that over and over again, like 11 more times. I'll get really tired very quickly, and I would just throw this game in the trash. Luckily, though this is the game's general structure, the devs decided to spice it up a little to make sure we just don't drop it by the time we get to Act 2. Right from the beginning, during Kraven's mission, the game grabs your attention by putting a section that looks like this.
No chance.
Yeah, that's right. You're still playing as Spider-Man, only this time through Kraven's eyes.
No hitting!
Next thing I love is all the POV combat segments. They're just... it just adds a whole nother level of immersion. Like, look at this. I'm beating up Hammerhead. I'd love for this to be a thing in a modern Spider-Man game. And just like these, there are many other fun segments in this game. A 2D crawling section, free falling or skydiving segment, a time race against a tsunami or even a falling helicarrier, and also this creepy picador win a prize carnival thing. Ooh. Like... You can really tell the devs were having fun creating this game. With that said, none of this could have been possible without the amazing voices that bring this game to life. The lead voice actors chosen for this game were people that previously voiced Spider-Man on TV. Our distinctively quirky Amazing Spider-Man is voiced by Neil Patrick Harris, known for playing Mr. Barney Stinson in How I Met Your Mother.
Barney has the same pose in each shot, and these are like years apart.
yes, about that. I never take a bad picture. Never have, never will. Sure.
Aha! Got it. A bad picture.
Is it, though?
No, wait, you were eating a chip. Where's the chip?
It is physically impossible for me to take a bad picture. I don't know why. Ask God.
Miguel O'Hara, or Spider-Man 2099's shocking performance, is delivered by none other than
Dan Gilvezan?
Spider-Man's voice in 1981's Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends.
Crushed ice is great, but crushed friend is awful. How Santa Claus does this and keeps his suit clean, I'll never know.
Spider-Man Noir's more mature and somber personality relied on our friend Christopher Daniel Barnes, who voiced the Webhead in the 90s series.
New York City. If only everything down there was really as peaceful as it looks from up here. Yeah, anyway, this lizard thing is probably just an urban myth. Wait a minute, looks like I was myth-taken. Great! There goes my $1,000 photo. When am I gonna get the hang of being a superhero and a photographer at the same time?
And lastly, Ultimate Spider-Man's cocky, trash-talking line deliveries were made by our beloved Josh Keaton, who voiced the perfect, most acclaimed animated adaptation of Spider-Man in the spectacular Spider-Man series from 2008.
Let's review that to-do list. Stop the crime? Check. Took pictures of my web-slinging self to win the Daily Bugle's photo contest? Check, check. That coat, or should I say coating, looks amazing on you. Non-conductive, you say? Gorgeous. Guys, Feliz Navidad, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Solstice. Can't we put our differences aside for one night?
Nope.
I love how every voice actor playing Spider-Man captures their unique personalities. Though I think 2099 could have been a little bit more serious, but you know, it's nothing that destroys the experience.
That's me, ready to save the universe and looking good while doing it.
And according to Neil Patrick Harris,
I think we recorded 25 different variations for when something happens.
But yeah, I have yet to see these other versions. And don't get me wrong, I have definitely heard a lot of different clips from these four webheads.
My pal Ben says it best. It's clobbering.
I'm Spider-Man. That's what I do. I break bonds.
Take that!
And at the heart of it all, my masterpiece. Impressive, isn't it? What do you mean, meh?
I've seen one of these before.
No, you haven't.
I have. I totally have.
It's a condensed matter reactor, the only one in existence.
Is that what it is? Oh.
But I thought the variation in the intonation would be richer, kind of like how we see it in Marvel Spider-Man, where Yuri Lowenthal recorded different versions for the same lines to match Spidey's actions.
Something's going down at the Fisk construction site. Gotta remember to check it out. Something's going down at the Fisk construction site. Gotta remember to check it out.
But hey, we might just be too spoiled nowadays. As honorable mentions, we have Nolan North playing
Deadpool! Spidey! Can I call you Spidey?
having a beautiful duality with Keaton's Spider-Man, since they're both really talkative.
Do villains find me this annoyingly talkative? Don't answer.
North will then go and voice Deadpool in his own game later in 2013.
Is there a mute button for him?
And there's also Tara Strong playing Doc Ock.
So, we finally meet. I'm Serena Patel, head of Alchemax's Shadow Division.
Never heard of it.
Yes, that's why it's called Shadow Division.
Ah, touche. So, what's the master plan, Patel? You shadowy types always have one?
You've most likely heard her in Loki as Miss Minutes.
Welcome to the Time Variance Authority. I'm Miss Minutes, and it's my job to catch you up before you stand trial for your crimes.
Timmy Turner in The Fairly Odd Parents.
No amount of therapy will ever make this moment okay.
And Harley Quinn in many DC games.
I think she likes you this time around, Ozzy. Otherwise, you'd be...
And finally, the moment you've been waiting for. Our dear and beloved narrator, being none other than Stan the Man Lee himself.
Hey there, true believers. Watch as once again, frightening forces are at work in our world, ready to wreak havoc with our very existence.
Oh, Stan, I miss you. So, summing up, would I recommend playing this game in 2025, having a long list of Spider-Man games behind us?
I am stealth.
Abso-freaking-lutely. To anyone that considers themselves a Spider-Man fan, I say, play this absolute masterpiece of a game. Your life won't be the same after that. I mean, are you kidding me? This is the closest we'll ever be to a Spider-Verse multiplayer game. If Insomniac's Spider-Man 3 doesn't have that. Shadow Dimensions kickstarted the Spider-Verse as we know it today. It introduced new and fresh concepts and allowed comic book writers to expand upon them. Heck, we're even seeing the effects it had today. Not just with the Spider-Verse series, both in and outside of comics, but even No Way Home and Amazon Spider-Noir. Though the mechanics might be a little wonky and the controls a little outdated, this game still lives up to the hype. Sure, it took me some time to get used to them after playing Marvel's Spider-Man for so long, but the nostalgia it brought and the visuals it presents, it's just, it leaves me speechless. Alas, there is one question left to ask. Would you, my friend, want a remake of this game? Leave your comment down below and let me know your thoughts. I'm eager to read them. Also, let me know if you guys got any ideas for any further videos, cause I could use them out. Fake Siege out.